Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Episode 161, Oakland Supercross, round 4 in the books. We're going to be breaking down the 250s today. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Well, there's a repeat, and we'll get to it in just a second.
Yes, we will. First, I should mention I am in Columbus, Ohio right now for the weekend, and I watched the races up here, so if the broadcast sounds a little different, that is why. And I got to tell you, I'm having a good time up here, bro. A good time.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, dude, I have to tell you a really funny story real quick about one thing that I witnessed that I haven't witnessed before. And it's this, like, my friend works at a music venue and he runs the sound for him. So I was there and we shut the place down like several nights in a row. And at the end of the night, the same thing always happens. And it's this buddy system where it's always just like this really drunk girl being carried out by one of her friends and stuff. And literally every direction we looked in the parking lot, it was happening. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Nice. Like multiple girls.
Oh yeah. Every direction, bro. There's someone being like carried to the cars. It was so awesome.
Nice. That is like a once in a lifetime thing. So
yeah,
good job.
Yep.
You lived it.
Cross that off the bucket list. But it's cold up here. I can't wait to get back. So
it's cold down here, bro. So don't even worry about it.
All right, where we go. Everywhere is getting arctically blasted. So
yeah, it's super cold and it's been raining all day, so it kind of sucks. And it's gonna rain all day. The Pro Bowl is happening today.
I was so upset I was gonna miss that because I wanted to go, but actually once the Steelers lost, I was just like, oh well, football's over.
Well, I mean, it's raining. It's raining there. It's raining here. It's raining everywhere. So you're not really missing out or anything unless you want to get wet.
That's right. Well, someone who didn't get wet was actually all the Supercross riders because there was no rain in Oakland. It ended up being like a perfect day out there. Obviously, there was some chilly weather and it was just good. I mean, first, let's start with the track because there was some changes to that track map kind of last second.
Yeah, please tell me what happened there because there was a track map that we had on our last podcast. We talked about it. We talked about the different lines. We talked about the different, just the rhythm sections and stuff. And then here comes race day, and it's like a whole different thing. Like we have two whoop sections. Like when did this happen? Like did we messed up or what happened?
No, everybody was posting the same track map and the same one that we were looking at. And then on race day, or the day before race day, they had an updated track map, which wasn't even an animated track map. It was like a sketch of the original track, but it had like corrections on it, like, oh, whoops here. It was just like they changed it. They definitely changed. They made a lot of changes to it, a lot. So I don't know the reasoning behind that, but I kind of like the changes though. I thought it was cool.
Oh, it was a great track. I mean, they've done a great job so far this year with every single track. All the layouts have been awesome. Not too much one line. There's a lot of places to pass. And I mean, I'm content with it, and I know a lot of the riders are as well. So I'm not mad about the changes. It's just kind of like it just kind of happened like last second. So that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah, it was very surprising too. But I like how they added that second whoop section. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of stuff happen in that whoop section, and we're going to get to it all. But first, let's start with these combined qualifying times. Just to touch on that, it's like the same names you expect to be up there were all up there. Dylan Ferrandis, again, having the fastest lap time overall.
He had him in both qualifications, like in the first round and the second round. So good for him. He was looking good.
One name that wasn't at the top, Adam Cianciarulo, 5th fastest time. He just looked like he couldn't get it together. He looked like he struggled a little bit for sure.
Actually, I don't think that he struggled. Like, it was more like they did a little interview with him, and he said that he's always focusing on just throwing fast lap times. When in this race right here, he's going to start focusing more on race lines whenever they're doing qualifying. It's like he's not really worried about being in the top. He's just more worried about getting those race lines dialed for when it comes to main events or heats. And I think that's what happened here, and I think that's why we see him in 5th place. I was super surprised when then until they did the interview with him, and he kind of explained that that's how he's going to go about it now. So, but yeah, I was super surprised whenever I saw him in 5th place, because all the other races has been 1 or 2, either first position or second position with fastest lap time.
Yep, RJ Hampshire had the 3rd fastest, and Jimmy Dakotas with that 4th fastest time, and they were following him with the camera. He was like throwing down a heater, and he was just so upset he was like 0.1 second off or something, 0.01.
Yeah.
He like just missed it. He was so upset, and I knew he was going to have a good night at that moment because he was dominating.
He's been progressively improving, and that's good to see, especially when you're riding a Suzuki.
Of course, and one thing about this track in the 250s and in the 450s, which we'll talk about later, but the lap times were all so close to each other. Everybody's.
Yeah.
Dylan Ferrandis obviously killed everybody with a 52.7, but Shane McElrath had a 53.3. Adam Cianciarulo a 53.5. A 54.1, 54.6. It was like the top 8 guys were all within a second of each other. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was still, exactly. It was still pretty close, even though we had, like you mentioned, Cianciarulo in 5th place. It was still by nothing. Like, it wasn't because, he was just a couple of seconds below the fastest time. They were just very close.
And one other thing to talk about in this qualifying time, in this second 250B practice, there was a red flag for Nicholas Halafors from Sweden, and yeah, he went down pretty hard. They didn't show what happened, but they had to backboard him off, red flag it, of course. So I don't have an update on him yet, but just wanted to say that's what happened, and it was.
I got you right here, bro. He said he took a hard hit in early qualifying 2. He got knocked out for a while and fractured his 3 bat ribs again, and a 4th one now.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he's pretty beaten up, but he's okay. Mostly pissed off that he couldn't set the time, but he'll be ready for the night. Thanks for all the messages. I'll keep you guys update on what happened later on the week.
Wow, well that's good he's okay, because it didn't look good, that's for sure.
No, and well, just the fact that they red flagged that qualifying, that should tell you that it was a serious matter. So yeah, we're glad that he's good, and speedy recovery, my friend, and best of luck on the rest of the season.
Yeah, it seemed like that practice session ran so long, way long. It was like they ended at like 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was mentioning to you. I was like, dude, it's so late. Like, it's supposed to start in like a couple hours, and they still haven't finished qualifying. So it was a little longer than expected, but yeah, somebody else that wasn't able to race. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but Justin Starling, who had an accident in the qualifyings as well. He posted that he had another rider kamikaze himself into him in the final few seconds on the first time practice, and he had a small fracture on his wrist. So he'll be out, and he's hoping to be back for Atlanta, which is going to be the East-West showdown.
Wow. Yeah, he had a good time too. He was 19th fastest qualifier. It was like he was in, but that really sucks for him. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yep, I got you, bro.
Nice. Good luck. Well, what do you say? We just jump right into this first heat?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, there wasn't really too much that happened here, except there was like a big crash on the start.
Yeah, right away too. Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah, Shane McElrath, he was like on the inside, and just because of the layout of that start, it wasn't a complete like 180 turn. It was just like a 45-degree turn or whatever. Like,
it was a 90 degrees, yeah.
Yeah, he faded from the way inside, and he hit that jump, and then faded way outside, and Enzo Lopes just came down right on his bike. He's lucky that he landed the way he did, because obviously it could have been really bad. But
yeah, he got really close to McElrath in the air, and both of the riders got really lucky that it didn't get worse.
Yeah, of course. And McElrath, someone I picked to win this weekend, but he was able to, catch back up, and there was a lot of passing that happened in this race, that's for sure, because McAdoo and Jess Pettis and McAdoo and Mosman, they were all up like leading this race. They were all battling for that top position. And yeah, Dakotas had a terrible start this race, and we talked about how fast he was going in qualifying, and he started working his way up through the pack. He even made a nice little contact pass on Mosman for 4th place.
Yep.
It was pretty
Yep.
cool. So he was riding very aggressive. We saw like Pettis was up there, and then he would fade. Like he really started to fade. It was like,
Yeah, that was weird too, because he was having a great battle with McAdoo.
yep.
And then he gets passed by McAdoo.
They were battling for 1st place.
Yeah, exactly. Like McAdoo takes the lead from Pettis, and then like Pettis, like you said, he just kind of like faded away. Like Jacob Hayes passed him. Jimmy Dakotas also makes the move on him, and then passes Jacob Hayes for 2nd place. And yeah, it was kind of just weird how he just faded away on this one, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, well, he still finished 5th, so it wasn't that bad. But Dakotas was able to make the pass on McAdoo for 1st place with like 2 laps to go in that whoop section. And we saw a lot of passes in that whoop section. The back-to-back
Yeah,
whoop,
and
that was
Ferrandis
cool.
mentioned it in the qualifying whenever they asked him, like, what's a good spot? Like, what's going to be the key area for this track? He said the whoop section is going to be where the passes are going to be made, and he was right.
And yeah, exactly. So that's how they finished this heat. Jamie Dakotas won. Cameron McAdoo looking really good there in 2nd place. Jacob Hayes 3rd. Michael Mosman 4th. Jess Pettis. Shane McElrath able to catch all the way up to 6th, which is amazing.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job, because after he fell down, he was back in like 20th.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean Cantrell was 7th. Martin Costello with 8th. And that final transfer spot went to Carson Brown. But Enzo Lopez in 15th, all the way back there. So he wasn't able to catch up as fast as McElrath. But
Yeah, he didn't have that much luck.
yeah, so he's going to the LCQ.
Yeah, also Jimmy D winning his first heat.
Yeah, Jimmy D, he look at it out there. This could be the start of something for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into heat number 2. We had RJ in this one. We had Colt Nichols, Ferrandis, AC. This was definitely the more stacked one for sure. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Not that those people in the first one aren't that fast, but it just seemed like all the big names are in this.
No, you said it.
Yeah, so RJ getting the whole shot, and I also picked RJ. I was like, RJ's going to get on the podium this week. And it looked good for a minute. It looked good. He had the whole shot. Ferrandis was up there. Marchbanks had a great start.
Yep.
Adam Cianciarulo, just a terrible start for him, though. He was like probably worse than mid-pack in this. Really got pinched off on that first corner.
Yeah.
And RJ, he was running good until he fell in the sand. Florida boy falling in the sand. Come on.
Yeah, that's ironic. He went down in the sand section, and he gave Ferrandis the lead, and that's pretty much it.
Yep, that was it there. So that was pretty much all that happened this race. I mean, they were running fast. It was cool to watch, but there wasn't too much like battling happening in this one. Ferrandis won. Colt Nichols, red plate Nichols.
Red plate Nichols.
I was gonna say it doesn't have that ring to it. I had to think of something else for him. Adam Cianciarulo was able to get 3rd. RJ 4th place again. They said RJ was 6 races in a row of getting 4th place since last year. They should count the heats too, because there's another 4th place. Chris Blows got 5th. Mitchell Harrison got 6th. Garrett Marchbanks 7th. Jerry Robin, who was on my fantasy team, got that 8th.
Nice.
Straight to the main. And Gage Shear got in there too. So some names that were going to the LCQ: Scott Champion, the new Rockwell Yamaha rider. We had Chris Howell, Devin Harriman, who we interviewed a couple weeks ago. They were all going to the LCQ.
Yeah. Also, Dylan winning his first heat of the year.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, so good for him. This could be the start of something good for him too, because he's obviously had the speed leading all the qualifiers.
Oh yeah, and also last week we saw him after A2 how disappointing he was on getting 2nd place, and he knew there was more there for him to show or to give out, and it was definitely showing. It was definitely showing so far.
Indeed it was. So RJ led the first 2 laps. Dylan Ferrandis led the next 6 laps or so. And let's just jump into this LCQ. We did see a little bit of drama here, especially with our boy Devin Harriman.
Yes.
He pulled that whole shot.
It was a great LCQ.
Yeah.
It was a great LCQ.
It was a good one.
Yeah, Devin Harriman taking that whole shot, but also taking out Lopez, who just same thing happened with him that at the heat race, just a bad start, and he just got pinched to the outside, and he just fell down with a tough block. Doe, he ended up moving to the front super quick.
He did.
And he was leading for a while until Logan Carno. He made a couple moves and finally got the pass on Doe in the whoop section.
Exactly. Doe made that little mistake, and Carno was right there to just take advantage of it, and he just took off after that. And
yeah. In the meantime, though,
I was going to say the real battles for that final transfer spot.
Harriman and Scott Champion going at it for third and fourth place. Chris Howell was very close behind. And
if you remember, Glendale, Harriman, like, I don't know if he took out Howell or he just bumped him, but he definitely made an aggressive move on him to get into that main there. And it seems like Howell was out for a little redemption.
Yes, definitely. Howell took advantage of Harriman's mistake, and he made a pass. He ran him high, and after I think it was between the whoop sections, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he gave him a little bump, and he showed him, here's a little payback.
But still, Harriman, he missed 2 jumps on that last lap, like the finish line jump and then one of the like big like triples. Like he missed 2 jumps. If he would have just missed one of them, even he would have made it in. But he missed both of them, and it was crazy. It was just a good race. That's the one I'm gonna watch.
Yeah,
again.
it was very unfortunate. So Logan Carno, he got the win on this LCQ, followed by Doe, Champion, and Howell with the last qualifying spot. I talked to Harriman after the race, and he was pissed.
Of course he was. You could see it.
Yeah,
he was a good sport about it. He congratulated Howell, I believe it was. Give him a little, thumbs up, but sucks for him.
Yeah, he said it was whatever. It just kind of sucks because of the bump. He, like you mentioned, he had to roll the finish line, and that kind of cost him a little bit. So
yeah, and I think he was, even when he was like, I want to say he was like second or third, and Scott Champion made like a pretty aggressive move on him for like, they were both already in qualifying positions, and I bet it just seemed like a little, like, you're already in a qualifying position, why are you going to make such an aggressive move like that? So I'm sure he wasn't happy about that either.
I was yelling at the screen and that when that was happening.
Yep. So Devin Harriman, 5th place. 1 off, almost made it, so close, but not this race.
Yeah,
we'll have to see him next week, see what happens there. San Diego. Yeah, but let's get into this 250 main. Let's get into this because we've had these different winners so far this year. We didn't know if we were going to see another different winner. It definitely was setting up to be a good race. And one thing to mention, this whole shot, like the whole shot tracker that pops up on the screen for who gets the whole shot, that thing was so wrong every single start. I don't know how they had that set up, but it was funny because Ferrandis got credit for the whole shot.
But Nichols did get the whole shot for this one.
But on the screen, it showed up as Ferrandis, and I was just like, what is up with that?
But it doesn't matter because he ran high, and he gave the lead to Adam Cianciarulo.
Yeah, it didn't take long for him to jump out front, and
RJ down in the turn, not a good start of the main for him, even though it was his birthday as well. And that's pretty much when the 4th place streak was over for him. He ended up falling all the way down to like 18th, I want to say. And we didn't really see much RJ after that. Dylan Ferrandis, he had a bad start. He was sitting in 7th place, I believe. But he was moving up. That's for sure. Adam Cianciarulo, he had a little mistake, and Colt Nichols, he closed the gap on Cianciarulo. The top 4 spots, though, there were less than 2 seconds between each other, like from first place to 4th place.
Oh, yeah. Like Nichols, when Nichols caught AC, you saw he just put a wheel up there. He was just like, yo, I'm here. And then Adam Cianciarulo changed. Like he started going, he looked like the old Adam Cianciarulo, the classic Adam Cianciarulo, who was just riding over his head. And he started gapping him really fast, but he looked sketchy.
Okay, thank you. Because I thought it was just me. I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh, he's about to go down. He's going down here. He's going down here. But then like, he kind of like put it together, right? Like he just kind of like kept calm and not over his head. I bet his mechanic said, yo, chill. Because
exactly.
Just like that too.
Because it seemed like that. Like, it was just like one lap. He was just riding crazy, and he was really like gapping. He was like really starting to pull ahead of everybody. And then it was just like he just like chilled out and just did his thing, and it paid off for him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Then you mentioned Nichols putting a wheel in there, but Nichols was actually more worried about third and fourth place, who was McElrath and Ferrandis, who were right there. Like I mentioned, it was just a couple of seconds behind them.
Yep.
But yeah, Ferrandis finally makes the pass on McElrath for the third spot.
Yep, right after that first whoop section. So many passes made there. I loved it. That was a really cool section, especially for all those passes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like all the tracks have been great because there's plenty of places that you can make passes. So that's really good. So Ferrandis finally made the pass on McElrath for third spot. Mm-hmm. And he quickly closed the gap on his teammate, Cole Nichols, for second place.
This was a good battle, too, between these two. It
was great.
They did not care that they were teammates at all because they looked like rivals out there going at it. They were like bumping each other, slamming each other. Yes. Ferrandis hits Nichols for the pass.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's the reason this battle was great, because Ferrandis and Nichols bumped bars throughout a couple of turns, but Ferrandis finally gets that second spot from Nichols. And the hunt started for Adams and Cerullo.
Yeah, exactly. That hunt started. It looked like I was hoping he would catch him. I mean, he got kind of close, but pretty much he ran out of time. He did finish 2.5 seconds behind AC, but AC, he kept it together. He is officially the yo-yo rider of the year. He's down 1 week, he's up 1 week. He's down 1 week, he's up 1 week. So he'll be down next week.
So far, eighth, first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so AC with the win with a way, way too close by Ferrandis. Nichols holds up for third place. A great race by Dylan Ferrandis. I want to say congratulations to him because he came all the way from 7th to second place and almost the win. And, and congratulations, obviously, to Adams and Cerullo for becoming the first riders to win 2 mains this season. So congrats.
Yeah, he dominated this race, start to finish, led every single lap. Looked like championship Adams and Cerullo. That's for sure.
He is 3 points behind Nichols at this point. He moved all the way to second place. Nichols will keep the red plate going into San Diego. You said red plate Nichols? Maybe.
I don't know. We got to think of something else. We already got red plate Roxon, so.
Well, never mind.
Ferrandis though, he was 7th on that first lap, caught all the way up to second. It was like kind of the biggest gap of coming through the pack out of everybody. Yeah, made the most passes. Yeah. Colt Nichols, you said, got 3rd. Shane McElrath 4th. Jacob Hayes 5th. Pretty solid season for him so far, it seems like.
Oh yeah.
Cameron McAdoo 6th. Michael Mosman 7th, Garrett Marchbanks, one of my fantasy picks, 8th, not that anyone cares. Chris Bloss 9th, Sean Cantrell 10th, Jess Pettis 11th, Jerry Robin, who I said was one of my fantasy picks, 12th, RJ Hampshire 13th, lucky number 13.
Yeah, it was his birthday too, so I'm sure he was super bummed out.
Yeah, and Jimmy Dakotas, who was our second place qualifier, ended up all the way in 15th place. There was a Suzuki down on that last lap, like in the rhythm section. I wonder if that was him.
It has to be because nobody else is running a Suzuki except for him or Costello.
Exactly. So it had to be him. Mitchell Harrison, 16th, just hasn't taken off, Potential. Lots of potential, you could say.
Yep.
But it was a pretty good race. I really enjoyed this one. It was just everyone made it through kind of safe, except Starling. Obviously, you were saying he had his problems. But McElrath and Lopez having that problem on the start. Good thing both of them were able to get up. And except Lopez didn't qualify for the main. So that's too bad for him. But he's not hurt. That's what I was getting at.
Yep. That's really the important part.
Yeah, so Enzo, he's sitting in 17th place. Not the greatest start to the season that anyone wanted or expected, I think, coming from that factory team, JGR. But Adam Cincerulo, like you said, 3 points behind. So it's still really close between these 250 riders. Shane McElrath, 4 points behind in 3rd place. And Dylan Ferrandis, 5 points behind in 4th place. So it's really close between them, but they really have put a big gap on RJ, who's sitting in 6th with 67 points. They're already 20 points up on him. So RJ, man, come on.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, it could be any of those guys still. There's only 5 points really dividing them. Yeah. And anyone's game.
That's right. San Diego is going to be awesome. So we're looking forward to that. Is there anything else that we should add to this episode?
No, just stay tuned. Make sure you check out our videos and updates at the MXSX Podcast. And stay tuned for the next one. We're going to recap our 450.
That's right. See you next time.
Peace.